this morning to mark the beginning of Fire Prevention Week. Very important to us here in the city of New Orleans and of course with our state partners. And we're here to talk about what you can do to make yourself, your family, and even your neighbors safer. We want you to know what resources are available and how you can make your family and your community less vulnerable to tragedy in the event of a fire. I participated for the first time ever in Fire Ops 101 program, the first time we ever had it here in the city of New Orleans. And we did this a few weeks ago with council members and leaders of various departments, our CAO, and of course, our New Orleans Fire Department. I put out a fire in a burning building and got a look at the true realities of not only the beginning of a fire, but how they end. I saw firsthand a taste of what these men and women face, and I'm telling you, it woke me up in a way that I'd never been woken. And as a resident, we owe our firefighters and our first responders so much. So let's make their job a little bit easier by really working to prevent fires in the first place. We have to learn to prevent them before they happen, and not only touch our family, touch our neighbors, touch our community. So I want to thank our firefighters for the hard work that they do every single day. They're our first responders, putting their lives on the line for each and every one of us. Our city's fire department is comprised exceptionally of brave men and women and individuals who work very hard to keep us safe. So I'm grateful for their hard work and their commitment to the city of New Orleans and the great example that they set for us every single day. And it's not just how they work hard to keep our citizens safe, but when we see our neighboring communities face disaster, they're right on the ground as well. And we just recognize that in the Carolinas. So I want to thank our chief, Tim McConnell, and the entire New Orleans Fire Department, our Louisiana State Fire Marshal, the National Fire Prevention Association, and of course, we cannot leave out the American Red Cross for making this week of awareness possible. And one that we're not just focusing on the week, we know that we're living this every single day of the year. But we have to call attention to it, and that's what we're doing today. So without further ado, I would ask my chief to step on up and lead us into our first together Fire Prevention Week. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's Fire Prevention Week here and across the country. And community leaders and public safety officials are joining together to inform residents of the importance of being proactive to prevent injuries, deaths, and losses due to fire. Mayor Cantrell, thank you for your support. The New Orleans Fire Department, in conjunction with the State Fire Marshal, Red Cross, the National Fire Protection Association, and the U.S. Fire Administration, want to remind our residents about the importance of practicing fire safety and developing good habits. It comes in the form of this year's campaign, which is look, listen, learn, be aware, fire can happen anywhere. In this year's Fire Prevention Week safety campaign, in addition to our free smoke alarm campaign, we will spread the word about the importance of practicing fire safety and awareness with the entire family. This campaign works to educate people about 3 essential steps to take to reduce the likelihood of having a fire and how to escape safely in the event of one. Look means look for places that fire could start. Take a good look around your home, identify potential fire hazards, and take care of them. Listen means listen for the sound of a smoke alarm. You could have only minutes to escape safely once the smoke alarm sounds. Go to your outside meeting place, which should be a good safe distance from the home, and where everyone knows exactly where to meet. Learn means to learn 2 ways out of each room and to make sure all doors and windows leading outside can easily be opened and are free of clutter. The second point in this Look, Listen, and Learn campaign requires that every home have a working smoke alarm. According to the latest research, working smoke alarms cut the chance of dying in a fire in half. Almost 2/3 of deaths in homes result in homes with no working smoke alarm. It's critical that everyone have a working smoke alarm. You always hear me preface smoke alarm with that, which is why the NOFD will install free 10-year smoke alarms in your home. All you need to do is ask, and we will respond and install as many as you need. We test hardwired smoke alarms, and we'll change the 9-volt battery in those if necessary. But we don't put in the 9-year alarms, the 9-volt battery alarms anymore. We put in a 10-year smoke alarm, so you don't have to have that maintenance of changing the battery a couple of times a year. This year, we're proud to be able to offer the same potentially life-saving service to the deaf and hard of hearing members of our community. The NOFD has added a bed shaker and a strobe light components that work in conjunction with our 10-year audible alarms, designed specifically for the deaf and hard of hearing. The NOFD Deaf Residents Smoke Alarm System is also free of charge. NOFD's only condition is that NOFD uniformed members come out and ensure that it's installed properly in your homes. We encourage anyone who may know a deaf or hard of hearing resident in need of this service to please contact the New Orleans Fire Department. This week we'll be hosting in the lobby of City Hall a safety booth to make people aware of each one of these components of this Look, Listen, and Learn campaign. Here in the lobby of City Hall you can sign up for smoke alarms, and then Friday, in conjunction with the mayor at 2:30, we'll be doing a side-by-side burn demonstration where we'll actually set some buildings on fire, and you will see just how quickly a fire spreads and understand how important it is and what a short period of time you have to get out once that smoke alarm goes off. So we encourage everyone to do that. The NOFD on the city's website has tools that will assist you in planning for these emergencies and how to make your home safe, and you can also sign up to get smoke alarms on that website. So that's nola.gov/NOFD. At this time, I'd like to introduce our partner, State Fire Marshal Butch Browning. Butch?
Thank you, Chief McConnell. It's indeed an honor to be here. Mayor, I have to commend you on you participating in this Fire Academy training. You know, being a previous fire chief of the city of Gonzales, my mayor was heavily involved in my fire department, and he learned so much about it that when I used to go to him with ideas, he said, wait a minute, I fought those fires. I know what you need. But certainly, in all seriousness, for you to understand what these firefighters do and the dangers they face and the severe conditions they work in, I know you have a much bigger respect for not only providing for their needs as far as equipment and safety, but just the moral support. And you being here is very important. And I think that's what highlights what Fire Prevention Week is about. You see, we're fighting fires today the way you're supposed to fight fires. You know, when there's a death, and we can list the hundreds of deaths that's occurred just in the city of New Orleans to fire, and we can go and find families today that can tell you horrific stories. So no money, no efforts, nothing would be forgiven if we did not put forth fire prevention today, because all these efforts do save lives. And I'm going to tell you, the fact that we have standards in Louisiana, the fact that we have codes, the fact that we educate, the fact that we have fire suppression crews that are second to none, and the fact that we investigate fires, we've saved so many lives. There are a number of untold lives saved. So today, as we look at this week as an emphasis in preventing fires, it's every day about preventing fires. And this idea to look, listen, and learn is very important, because, you know, a lot of people think, well, you know, I don't leave a pot on the stove. I'm very cognizant about not leaving a pot on the stove so fire won't happen in my home. Well, these firefighters can tell you there are hundreds of reasons why fires start. Certainly a pot left on the stove is a common cause, but there are hundreds of reasons why fires start. So this week is about a more in-depth awareness. Certainly, if there is a fire in this state, one of the first questions that people ask, were there working smoke alarms? Now, 25 years ago, people didn't know what a smoke alarm is. So we've come a long way, but we've got to educate. I'm just proud of our partnership with not only the City of New Orleans Fire Department, Chief McConnell, and certainly this mayor, but I think our partnership in general. Because I think when we stand up and we put the information out, people heed that warning. And as Chief McConnell's talked about, thousands of smoke alarms have been flooded across the city of New Orleans. Unfortunately, most of those installs occurred after a death. That's when people's awareness was most heightened. We want to change that. So I'm going to tell you, and it's something that I've said many times, you probably can pull it from many file footage. It's real simple. If you're going to survive a fire in a home at night when you're sleeping, you better not go to bed tonight unless you've assured yourself that your smoke alarms are working. Not just, I have one, have you reached up there and pushed the test button and tested that alarm? Because I'm going to tell you, if you go to bed tonight, anywhere in America, and you do not have a working smoke alarm in your home, you have less than a 10% chance of waking up. And depending on how that fire has burned, you got less than a 5% chance of safely escaping out, because the toxic smokes and the products of combustion fill a home a lot quicker than that hot flame fills a home. So again, thank you for the partnership. The Fire Marshal's office stands ready to help the city of New Orleans and communities in this viewing area. They can utilize the information of New Orleans to request smoke alarms, or you can go to the Fire Marshal's website, lasfm.org, and request free smoke alarms that we put in all across the state in similar partnerships we have with the New Orleans Fire Department. Thank you.
Mr. Greg Roach, American Red Cross.
Thank you. Since 2014, the Red Cross and its partners across the nation have participated in the Red Cross's Home Fire campaign, which is working to reduce deaths and injuries from home fires by 25% by 2020. Here in Louisiana, through our partnerships with our local fire departments and community partners, we've installed more than 9,500 smoke alarms and have directly seen lives saved here in Louisiana as a result of this program. As the chief said earlier, and as you'll probably hear a lot throughout this week, the best insurance you can have is a working smoke alarm. If you need working smoke alarms, you can fill out an online request to have volunteers come out to your home and install that for you and help your family create a home fire escape plan by going to soundthealarm.org/Louisiana. Thank you.
Once again, links to all of those sites are from the New Orleans Fire Department website. You can get to the State Fire Marshal. I'd be remiss if I didn't emphasize how much of a partner both the Red Cross and the State Fire Marshal have been in providing us with those smoke alarms. So, once again, this is the cheapest insurance you can buy and the best insurance you have of making sure that you wake up.
And I'll just want to add, when you see our fire trucks on the road and you hear those sirens, get to your right. Get to your right, because someone's life could be at stake. Get to your right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.